Hi, everyone. So nice to see you all. My name's Emma Tessler, and we're going to kick off Digital Day together. Really exciting. So we are going to dive right into what you probably think of digital more than anything, which is social media. So we're going to go into monetizing your social media using strategic content that can really convert for you. So my name's Emma Tessler. I'm the founder of 95 Media. We are a digital marketing agency working with brands to scale their business utilizing organic social media strategies. I have been working in this world of marketing for the past 10 years, and we've worked with hundreds of brands to utilize the strategies we're going to cover today, and they've seen incredible results. But I also deeply understand the world of interior design. That was actually my first career. So I've been in the world of interior design, and we also work with a lot of designers at 95 Media utilizing social to help them scale. I'm also the host of the Stop Scrolling, Start Scaling podcast. I've mentored at FIT, SCAD, Parsons, NYSID, and I'm really excited to be here with you today because I know that you can really go from just posting on social to actually profiting, and that's exactly what we're going to cover together. 95 Media is our marketing agency. Like I mentioned, we're actually women-owned and operated, and we work with brands to create highly converting content. Has anyone here ever had content convert for them, just on their own? Raise your hand if you've had a post convert to a paying client. One, okay, we're at zero. Okay, good. We have a few, and that's really good. That's a great starting point because, well, I'll just get into that in a second. When you think about social media and how it can really work for you, you might think about social in this way, where social media is going to generate a cold lead for you. So someone finds you on social and they're like, hey, I've never heard of you before, but I love what you're putting out there and I need to work with you. That's kind of what a lot of us think about when we think about social. But what's more likely to happen is actually this example. Can you raise your hand if most of your leads right now are word of mouth? Okay, most of us, yeah. And so when you have a word of mouth lead, you have a friend that tells somebody, hey, we really need to hire this person. They designed my home. It's so beautiful. I loved working with them. You need to work with them. And so what is happening when you get a word of mouth lead today is a lot different than what used to happen even just 5 years ago. Today, when you get a word of mouth lead, that person is going to go look you up on Instagram, and that content is either going to validate what the referral said about you, or it's going to tell them, actually, I don't know, this person might not be that reputable. In fact, we worked with a brand who is a builder in Houston, and they had been in business for 20-something years. All of their leads were word of mouth. But when they came to us, they hadn't posted in 6 years to their social media. 2019 was the last post. We were like, okay, let's get into this. And what was really happening when we started working with them was they were getting word of mouth leads, but they were losing more than they were getting because their social media was so outdated. It was telling their leads, actually, maybe they're not even in business anymore because they haven't posted in 6 years. And that content didn't represent the quality of work that they were currently doing. So it was preventing them from signing more business when your social media should actually be doing the work for you. I can't promise that you're going to get a cold lead from social, but I can promise that this scenario over here is already happening. And so what we're going to do today is make sure that your social is working for you rather than against you. The good news is that even if your social is outdated, maybe you haven't posted in 6 years, maybe you haven't posted ever, this is what our client was able to see after just 90 days of working with us and getting really great content up there. We had 152,000 views, 66,000 post engagements, and 8,400 click-throughs to their website. So it's all possible. Even if you've never posted before, you can get great results. So I'm really excited to get into all of that good material with you today. Now I'm going to go back a few slides because I got ahead of myself. Today's workshop, we are going to cover 3 content buckets that all of your content should fall into. The type of content that's going to convert your audience, a strategy to make a beautiful feed that will bring in new clients, and how to film real-time video content. It's a lot of good stuff. So Instagram is the main platform we're going to talk about today. That's probably your core platform if you're marketing on social right now. And the really great thing about social and Instagram is that it's a portfolio for you, especially as a designer. You might think about your website as your portfolio, but just like your website, you can create a beautiful portfolio on Instagram as well. Today, there are over 3 billion active users on Instagram. That means 3 billion people are active every month on Instagram. And one thing I hear sometimes from designers is that, Emma, I work with really high net worth individuals. They're busy professionals. They're not on Instagram. They're not posting on Instagram. And I hear you, but I want to remind you of 2 things, in case those thoughts have been in your head at all. Number 1 is that 3 billion people, it's a lot of people. So your people are probably in that pool. And second of all, even if they are not creating on Instagram, they are still consuming. You don't even need to have an Instagram account to find you on Instagram, because Google is now indexing from Instagram. So the way that your website used to help you with SEO and showing up in search results, which we'll talk more about in a moment, your social is now showing up in those search results, whether or not it's from 6 years ago or it's from 6 hours ago. So we want to make sure that it's really showing you well. This is one of our interior design clients. They're an interior design brand out in California. They do stunning work, like this beautiful, light, bright, coastal design aesthetic. But when we started working with them, this is what their Instagram looked like. This does not look like the same brand. It is this dark and moody social media presence. In fact, they weren't even posting their own work. They were using this really outdated strategy of posting other people's work. There just was no brand cohesivity. Once we got started with them, this is now what their Instagram looks like. This matches their actual brand, their website, the work that they do. It showcases their authority, landing features in magazines like House Beautiful. And there's this brand cohesivity across the entire feed that tells people exactly who they are. Now they have this beautiful presence. So no matter where someone finds them, they know that this is the brand that they should hire if this is for them. Why is this important, though? If you have a beautiful website, why do you really need social? Well, this is why. Because there's this huge shift happening in consumer behavior today that's called social search. So what someone used to go to Google to look up, they're actually now going to Instagram. So for us, for example, for 95 Media, instead of Googling us, they're going to open up Instagram and they're going to type in 95 Media, or they're going to type in Dallas-based social media agency, or content creator near me. Those are all search keywords that people were majority going to Google, and now they're searching on social. In this study by We Are Social, it was found that 94% of people 16 to 64, basically a wide range, went to a social media network in the last month, and only 81% went to a search engine. That's a really big discrepancy. And it's a really big reason why you need social to be working for you. Because if social is working for you, it can do half the selling for you, which makes your job easier, which means you can close more people who find you, whether it's on Google or it's on social. Where do we begin with that knowledge? Content buckets and content pillars are really a great starting point for you. Now, has anyone heard of content buckets or content pillars? Just raise your hand. Okay, a few, good. So content buckets are high-level, overarching themes. These are applicable to all businesses, all industries, so they're a bit easier to grasp. And we'll talk about what those are. And then content pillars are really brand specific. So these are custom to you, and we'll go through how you can start to select them for yourself. This is a really good starting point because it will lay the foundation for what to post. And if you've ever felt like, I'm not really sure how to get started on social media, content pillars and buckets will help you just get over that initial hump so that starting to post feels a little bit easier. The 3 content buckets that are applicable to every business here is educational, validating, and vulnerable. You want to take a screenshot of this? It's easy to grab. So let's walk through what these are. Educational, pretty self-explanatory. You are teaching your audience something, but you're not teaching it to them to DIY it. You're teaching it to them to build your authority. I know a lot of designers feel like, well, I don't want to tell them like what's my top 3 like favorite white paint colors, because then they're just going to go do it themselves. But in fact, if someone doesn't know that you know what you're talking about, they might not know that you're the right person to hire to do the job. So we're sharing these tidbits of knowledge. We know that someone can DIY and it'll never be as good as what you design, but we're sharing them so that they know that you have authority, you have experience, and you can lead the project that they don't even know where to start. Validating, these are some examples as well from one of our interior design clients. Validating content is you're really validating the journey that your audience is on. You're saying, hey, I totally get where you're at. This content might be like, hey, I know that you have 3 young kids and all you want is a beautiful home, but your kids ruin all your furniture. So one thing that we do is we design custom pieces with performance fabrics, and here's how we go about it, and we make sure there's no sharp corners and da-da-da, all of this, but you're validating where they are in the journey that they're having that may be an objection as to hiring you, but it's actually the very reason they need you. So you're validating where they are and letting them know, hey, there is another side to this that we can help you get there. And then vulnerable is storytelling. Storytelling, and it's about you. You're giving a little bit about you to get them intrigued and to know you a little bit better, because humans buy from humans. As much as we may like to hide behind a logo, you are the reason that someone will hire you. And so we really want to give people a little bit of your journey, of your story, and really what you do, and we're able to do that through vulnerable content. This by no means means that you're crying in front of the camera and telling your life story. That will not convert for you. But what will convert is if you tell them a little bit about how you got here, and maybe even why you're here today. Education is so important to you. You want to be refining your skills so that you can serve your clients better. There you go, post idea for today. So this is one of our interior design clients. Just some examples of how we brought this to life for her. Educational was 5 easy ways to elevate your space. Validating was what my office looks like in the morning versus in the afternoon. Her home office, she had a couple of young kids, and her office was also where her kids did homework. And that may be where how your client's home is set up, but you could show them, hey, I get it. This is exactly how my home is, and here's how we can design a space that works for you. And then storytelling was sharing something really exciting that was going on for her. Now, those are buckets. This is what's applicable for everyone. Let's get into content pillars. These are going to be 3 to 6 big themes that your content can fall into. And what I love the most about content pillars is that they allow you to make sure that you're not just talking about one thing over and over and over again. I know for myself, educational content is so easy, I could teach all day. So I just end up teaching, and then everyone's like, well, wait, but that's not the content that's gonna make me convert. I can learn, but that's not why I'm gonna hire you. So this is, going back to our design client in California, this was her feed, remember from earlier, and these are her content pillars. So I'll just come over here. Her content pillars are projects, which you probably are posting about already, but this is just one pillar. Your projects, educational, the brand touch, so what makes you different, trends, team culture, and testimonial and wins. What's really great is when you look at it like this. So we have the color dots on the feed. You can see we have 3 projects. That's gonna be the most, the majority of your content. But if you look at it, I know it might be hard to see, this is a reel, this is a static photo post, and this is a carousel. They're all projects, but we're presenting them differently. And that's what's really key to think about is how can I share a project, but talk about it differently and present it in different formats to keep my audience really engaged. Then we have educational, we have brand touch, testimonials, team culture. We have everything in this little 9-box square, but we are touching on so many different aspects of the brand. Why this is important is because this is a high level of the marketing funnel. We're gonna get into the marketing funnel in just a moment, but you have to think about your content pillars as this funnel. What builds awareness and what gets someone interested is not necessarily what's going to make them reach out to want to work with you. And that's what we're really looking to do here. So when we look at the content pillars for that client, the projects and team culture are what make them different. That's what makes them stand out. Then what makes your audience interested is the education and the trends. And then what makes someone really reach out to them is testimonials, so someone, loving working with them, and their specific brand touch. So as you think about building pillars for your brand, think about it like this. What makes me different? What makes our business different than the person probably sitting next to you? What makes your audience interested? What gets them into your business and what you guys do? And then what makes them reach out? When you have your content pillars down, you can start working on your content calendar. This is the beauty of having pillars. Just like we color-coded them with those dots on the last slide, you can build out a content calendar just like this. It's all color-coded. This is literally a content calendar for one of our clients. And we just use our project management tool for this. We use ClickUp. It's like Asana or Trello. Just if you have like a visual calendar, it's easy to see. But you could build it in Canva too. And you just lay your content pillars into the calendar. Like I said, this is going to make sure that you're not just talking about your projects, which I'm sure are beautiful and stunning, but it may not be what brings someone through the customer journey to actually convert for you. A content calendar can be really powerful. We worked with this photographer, husband and wife duo, and it's photography. Of course they have beautiful content, but it wasn't converting for them. They were getting some leads. They were getting about 1 lead a week before they started working with us. And we worked with them to build a content calendar and make sure there was really strategic content in that calendar so their audience was engaged and they were excited. And in just a few months, they started getting 5 leads a week just from a strategic content calendar. So a calendar might sound simple. Creating content pillars might sound easy. But when put into practice, it can make a really big impact. So if you're going to start anything from today, I would really recommend you work on those content pillars and start building out that content calendar. You can just do this once a month. Just build out your calendar once a month, pop your pillars into them, and then you can create content once a week. And you're batching it out and you've got it down. Number 2, in terms of creating this content, is to use some trends. Has anyone here ever used a trending audio? A few, okay, great, I love seeing it. When I say trending audio, I do not mean dancing. I know that might come to mind, the TikTok 2020 trending audio. What I really mean by trending audio is that these are trending with the algorithm. So the algorithm is favoring posts that use these audio files, and why would you not want to use an audio file that's being favored by the platform that you're creating on? I know I do. That makes your job easier. So this is how you find trending audio on Instagram. I have Instagram and TikTok. We're not talking about TikTok a ton today, but I just want to put it in here. We can start there. You just Google. If you just search on TikTok, viral TikTok trends, you're going to see this little popular button show up against some of them, and there you go. It's ready to go. But more likely, you're going to be creating this content on Instagram, and it's even easier because if you just scroll Reels on Instagram, you're going to see, this is the audio file name. So this is like, Where's My Husband? You know, that song that's trending right now. And if there's a up arrow, that means it's trending. Easy. And if there's a little music note, it's not trending, but it's not bad to use it. It's just not trending at the moment. There's honestly no rhyme or reason. So I wouldn't use this as your Bible here, but it is a good way to say, okay, I have a educational post next week. I want to make sure that it gets in front of a lot of people. Let me use a trending audio with it. Scroll, and you'll find an audio that you can utilize with that post. So that's a good way to begin thinking about it. And just again, you want to use them because they're favored, and they make sure that your content is being seen. But not only that, it's being seen by non-followers. If you've ever felt like when you go on Instagram, you are just talking to the same 14 family and friends, this is for you. This is going to get you in front of new people. So it's going to make sure you're not just talking to your Aunt Ruth in Oklahoma who can't afford you. You're talking to people who actually want to work with you and are interested in this type of content. That's why trending audio is so good. And lastly, we have hooks. Okay, hooks are so good, especially for video, which the next part is just going to be getting into exactly how to film your video, which is really good. But hooks are where you get someone captivated in your content. Our attention spans, as I'm sure we all know here, are really dwindling. They're down to like 1 to 2 seconds on social media. And if you can't capture someone in those 1 to 2 seconds, the very first 1 to 2 seconds of your video, you're gonna have put all this effort into creating beautiful content and no one's gonna see it. If you look at your watch time, if you ever posted a video on Instagram after today's workshop, go into your video. You get analytics on every single piece of content in Instagram, and it'll show you exactly where someone stopped watching that video. You would be shocked. It is typically 2 to 4 seconds. So you can create a 60-second video or a 3-minute video, and you're like, this is gold. Like, this is so good. And someone saw 2 seconds of it. And if you don't have a good hook, they're never gonna see the rest. That's why hooks are so good. So the very first one is a traditional hook. This is something like, our client lost $50,000 making this one mistake. Now, that story is not, you probably wouldn't, like if you're talking to a friend or you're telling the person next to you, you're not gonna start the story like that normally. That's okay. That's how you start it for social. Because I could start a video and I could say, this mistake cost our client $500,000, and I don't know about you, but I wanna know the rest. Now, I could also start the video and I could say, you know, Sally just bought her first home with her husband, and they have 2 young kids. And they thought they could like DIY their home because they've never bought a home before, they've never hired a designer before, and they DIY'd it, but 6 months later they lost $500,000 because they tried to DIY it without hiring a designer. No one's gonna watch that second video to get to the part where I talk about them losing $500,000, because the first part, I mean, you're talking like human to human, that might be interesting, but on social, no one's attention span is gonna last that long. So think about that the next time you're recording a video. Think about, how can I share the climax of the video in the first 2 seconds? That's how you hook someone in a video. And that's how you increase your watch time to get people to the good part so that they know that you're the right person to hire. That's a traditional hook. The second hook is your camera hook. It's a little easier. This is just where it's like how you're filming. So you could start with a weird camera angle. Sometimes people start it like the camera's on, your phone's on the table and then you lift it up, or it's over here and then you move it here. You could also start really close and move it back. There's a lot of different ways to do it. It's just a little catch so that people stop scrolling. If they don't stop scrolling, they're not gonna watch. So we have to figure out, how can we get them interested? And the last one is the volume hook. Similar to camera, this is where you're catching them with audio. You could start the video with a clap. You may have seen people do that. Or something drops. And it's like this big, kind of like jerk, right? We're not doing it to scare them. We're doing it to catch them. You could also talk really loud and then get really quiet. Or start really quiet. I don't know if y'all have seen those ASMR videos where people are like whispering into the mic. It's like a niche audience. But ASMR videos work because they get you. And you're like, wait, what is she saying? I don't know. So play with your audio as well. These hooks ensure that someone sees your content. And if you're creating great content but no one's seeing it, you might as well not create it at all. Now, we worked with this build brand, design, build, architecture company out in California last year. They came to us, and the past 12 months before working with us, they were getting 12 leads from their Instagram. That's pretty good, 12 leads. They had an in-house marketing team, but they were just really struggling with getting people to watch their content enough to get through it and want to work with them. After just 6 months of working with us, they started getting 31 leads in 6 months. That's a 2.5x growth of leads. But what's even better is that when they had 12 leads, they converted 1 project, 9% conversion rate. And with their 31 leads, they converted 7 projects. That's 23% conversion rate. When your content really speaks to your audience, it's not gonna do the same thing that you've experienced thus far. It's going to do something totally different. It's going to resonate so deeply with the people who are watching, they're gonna reach out and they're going to have been sold by your content to a certain extent that you may have never experienced before, because your content is doing the selling for you, as it always should have, but now you know the tools to make it work for you. So how do we get the video content that we're talking about? Let's talk about some tips here. Video content is actually so much easier than you might think it is, but I totally understand if it feels hard. Raise your hand if video content feels hard. You're like, it's the last thing I want to do right now. Like, don't tell me to film video. I'm not going to be doing it. Okay, so all of our clients are in that boat. Every single client that works with 95 Media, they're like, hey, please don't make me do this. But we do, because we know it works. Not only that, though, but we actually do quarterly content shoots with our clients. So we fly to our clients every single quarter. We get them feeling like their best self. They show up for 3 hours, and we shoot 3 months of content in 3 hours. If you know the type of content that's going to work for your audience, you can do just that. It doesn't have to be something that you feel like is a weekly task, or every single day you're like, shoot, I didn't film that video for tomorrow. Now we have nothing to post. If you're strategic with it, you're gonna film better material. I'd really recommend you batch create your content when you feel like you're best, because if you feel like run down at the end of the day, or you have a million things on your to-do list, you're going to be thinking about that while you're filming, and it's gonna come out. So think about how you can batch create in a clear way, feeling like you're best, and it will be your best. The first tip here is shoot on your phone. We have found that iPhone shot videography outperforms professional videography. On your website, professional videography. On your social, iPhone videography. You have to know what your audience is looking for. When I go to your website, I want this like polished, clean experience. I want to know that you are so elevated that you can design my home exactly how I want. But on social, I want to know that you're real. I don't want to feel like there is a team between you and me. That's how your audience is thinking. So as the team, we're very intentional about doing so, and you should as well. Film it all on your phone. Number 2 is show behind the scenes. I know you might think that like your day is boring and you do the same thing every day, and that like being here is not interesting. It is. It's exactly what your audience wants to see. So they want to know who you are outside of working with them. This is why like reality shows are so good, because you might know, like I don't know if anyone watches The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but Rachel Zoe is one of the new cast members, and she had her own show. She's been on TV forever, but being on The Real Housewives, you get this totally different look at who she is. You might know her, but now you're really knowing her. That's the same thing. You might not be a reality star, and that's okay, but people still want to see you. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes, and you decide how much you show. That doesn't mean you need to show things that are happening, in your personal life, but it does mean you should show when you're doing things like coming to a building like this, or you go to an event, or you and your team are on a job site, or you're having a team meeting. These are all things that your audience really does want to see. Next is show your face. And I know you might not want to hear that. That's okay, but it really is the most important. It really is going to be the material that converts the best for you. You could show a video of the most gorgeous space you've ever designed, and a video of you talking to the camera will outperform it every single time. Because people want to see you. They want to know who you are. Even just like your gestures, people connect with who you are. That human-to-human connection is going to convert a lot faster. And the last 2 are beautiful lighting and crisp audio. It's really easy to keep scrolling. And if a video is not the easiest to watch, no one's gonna watch it. Have you ever listened to like a podcast and it is just like crackling in your ear and you're just like, oh my God, like this is awful. You turn it off. You're like, why would I listen to this? I can go listen to a different podcast that I really love as well, and their audio is crisp every single time. So you're gonna do that for your social. It's not that complicated. There are lapel mics that you can get. In fact, I'm wearing this one right here is for our social content back there. And so you can get a little mic that you wear throughout your day or when you're shooting content, and you can get a light that just clips onto your phone. It doesn't have to be complicated. This is not an in-depth procedure that you're creating. It really can be so simple. But if you apply these 5 tips, your content is just gonna be so much better than it ever has been, and it can be that easy. This is one of our clients. They're a textile design company. This 2-woman duo started this textile company. Stunning work. They have textiles, they have wall coverings, and they came to us and they were really struggling with video content. So I get where y'all are. They were struggling with video because they have 2 young families. They were struggling with posting consistently. They were like, we want our stories to feel like we're in our day-to-day, but we do not have the time. So they came to us and they said, look, we need some help. We want to post consistently on social, but we also, what we really want is 20% sales growth in 6 months. That's not like a conservative goal. That's an ambitious goal. And at the same time, we know it's possible. So when we got to work, we immediately implemented posting 5 times a week to their social. We introduced real-time looking story content and consistent video on their feed that features their products. We also manage their email marketing, which I won't get too into right now, but just know that it's really easy when your audience can go from social to email to checkout or booking a sales call with you, just depending on what your business model is. And email can really support that journey. Now here's what they experienced. Their goal, 20% growth in 6 months, we actually exceeded that, and they saw 30% sales growth in 5 months because it was such a drastic difference to what they had done before. They saw 60% growth in their reach, 106% growth in their content interactions, 215% growth in their link clicks, and 3,000 new followers. That was all organic, by the way, no paid ads. What this really means is that their audience is no longer just aware of who they are, they're actually buying from them. Your follower count really doesn't matter if your follower count is not converting to people buying from you. So that is the ultimate goal. And just like them, you can grow 30% in 5 months. It just takes some strategy and takes intention behind that content. We literally applied these exact tips right here to their video content. Like, we don't do anything different for our clients than what I'm sharing with you today. You really can experience the same type of results. Now, approaching your feed the right way. I know that when you're listening to all this, you're like, hey, but I really need a pretty feed. How do I get a pretty feed? Well, I'm doing all this strategy along the way. And I just want to remind you that your feed does not matter, just like your follower count doesn't matter, if it's not converting. And the way it converts is if you're consistent. We have to be consistent. And so I have 4 reminders for you. Number 1, consistency creates clients. This is how you're going to get in front of people. What I really mean by this is that when you're consistent, the algorithm knows you're consistent. It sees people engaging with your content, and it's like, wait, everyone wants to see this. They're consistently putting out great stuff. People are engaging with it. Let me show it to more people. That's how you get in front of more eyes. Second is that value moves your viewers. If you are providing value, you are going to move that audience right down the marketing funnel into wanting to work with you. Match the media to the message. If your visual and your caption are really different because you want to say one thing, but you're just trying to pick a pretty photo for your feed, it's not going to really generate the results you're looking for. And the last one is data drives decisions. What I mean by this is that your analytics give you all the answers that you need. So if you look at the data, it will tell you the decisions to make, and those decisions will make you dollars. So your data ultimately equals dollars when you look at it. It is so straightforward. If y'all look at the data that Instagram literally gives you, it will tell you what's working. And you just replicate that, and you refine that, and you iterate that, and it will continue to work for you more. This is the ultimate goal, and it's your marketing funnel. I've been talking about this a few times, so this is where we're bringing it in. This is your marketing funnel. Awareness is at the very top. If someone doesn't know who you are, they can't work with you. So we have to get them aware. Whether that comes from a word of mouth referral, or that comes from finding you on social, or finding you through AI, which we didn't even talk about, but I know the next workshop is AI, so that'll be a good one. They have to be aware of you. Second is consideration. This is where they're consuming your content. They're considering, do I like this person? Do I want to work with this person? Do they offer the services that I'm looking for? And then, hopefully, they convert. But what's so interesting about a marketing funnel is that right here at the top, this is the biggest pool. You're going to have the most people aware of you. But as they move down, you're going to lose people along the way, and that's good. Because you don't want someone who's misaligned, who doesn't have the budget, who doesn't have the needs that you serve to be moving down your marketing funnel, because they're not going to convert for you anyway. But by the time they get down here, these are the people who are like, ooh, I really like them. I really want to work with them. So they convert, and then they become advocates for you, and they start the whole thing over. Now they are giving word of mouth referrals to their friends. And now you're building your funnel again. So here's how it works for one of our landscape design clients. In awareness, we post transformation reels, and they just hit for this brand. We've actually been working with them for 4 years now, and they've grown wildly in those 4 years. We've seen that transformation reels really connect with their audience because you see the before and the after. Try them out for your design projects, and you will see that it will do the same thing for you. Everyone loves a good before and after. specifically when it's video. That builds the most awareness, it gets in front of new eyes, and it builds their pool. Then consideration, their educational content and their Instagram stories, that's where people really start to consider. On Instagram stories, we share a lot of behind the scenes content, and then educational material teaches their audience that they have authority and they know what they're doing. They're not just another person who can plant a pretty plant in their front yard. They really do know what they're talking about. And conversion, we have testimonials, PR features, and strong calls to action. Testimonials tell us, well, other people trust them. They've had a great experience with them. You could too. PR features are so great. This client actually gets so many publishers in her DMs on Instagram because of the content we create for her. In fact, most recently, she had a Forbes editor in her DMs wanting to feature her in a Forbes article because the content was so good. So you can land PR features from your social content really, frequently. We have a lot of clients who do that. So those PR features, we land them from the social content, and then we feature it on social, which then generates more. So it's this big cycle. And then strong calls to action. If you don't tell your audience what to do, they won't know. Hey, go visit the link in bio to book a sales call. Go visit the link in bio to get 20% off your next purchase. Tell them. Tell them what to do. You're a business, you sell. Don't be afraid to sell in your content. And then lastly, advocates. She gets so many word-of-mouth referrals, and they are frequently sharing the Instagram page. What's even better, though, is that 45% of her leads come from social media. This marketing funnel, it works. Her marketing funnel is generating new leads, it's warming the leads, and it's converting them for her so that 45% of her leads actually come from social. Now, let's pull it all together. What we've covered today, the 3 content buckets that all of your materials should fall into, and how to build your own content pillars. So everyone's gonna go build your content pillars after today. The type of content that will convert into business leads, how to build a beautiful feed that will bring in new clients, and how to film that real-time video content. Now, just a reminder, at 95 Media, we manage social built with purpose and precision because we know that clear, consistent conversions can happen from your content. You can absolutely do everything we talked about today. You really can. You have so many great tools. And if you want to outsource it, this is exactly what we do. And we work with a lot of design brands in this way. We offer social media management, content filming, paid ads, email marketing. And our clients, I won't read through these, but we've talked about a lot of results. They see great results while working with us. So if you are looking for extra support, you can go ahead and scan this QR code. It will bring you to book a call with myself, and we can chat about what you're going through. So I'll leave that up for a second. But there's also one other way that you can get extra support. If you're wanting to DIY and you're excited about everything you learned today and you want to implement this all yourself, you can do that too. We have our marketing growth blueprint, and that is a way to get support and get a custom blueprint for yourself to take all the material that we talked about today and build a plan, just you and me, and give you a roadmap to follow so that you can really implement this with intention. We've created a custom discount code for y'all today just for this room. And I'm really excited because it's a brand new way that we can work together. And it's just gonna give so much value if you're looking to DIY this on your own. So that's what I have. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll open it up for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, sorry, y'all.
Okay. And just a quick reminder that we have a microphone.
Yes.
We're videoing all of our presentations today, so we need the questions on mic.
Hi.
Hey, so I've had a website since it's a .com, and I'm wondering, do I want to invest in my SEO, making SEO, or just invest in Instagram instead?
So I don't think there's a wrong answer, but what I will say is that social will actually do dual for you. So SEO is going to work only in your search engines, and Instagram, say social media is Instagram for you. If you post on Instagram, you'll get seen on Instagram, but Instagram will also be indexed and show up in those search engine results. So it'll do both of the things that you're looking for. You know, do I want to show up in search engine, or do I want to show up on social? If you do social media, it will hit both, 2 birds, 1 stone.
So if the website is not SEO optimizable,
Hold on.
You put the mic a little
Yeah,
if the website's not SEO optimizable, will all the work you put into the social media help the website?
it won't directly help the website, but if your link in bio is your website link, it will get more visibility because your social media is going to have consistent content going out, and it should ultimately be driving traffic back to that site.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I had one other question. When you said that you should spend like 3 hours doing, did you say 3 months of
Yeah.
video content? How much time should editing all that video take?
It's a great question. So we do all the editing in-house for our clients, but if you're editing that material on your own, it's hard to say exactly because different types of video take different amount of content editing, right? It comes down to, are you able to shoot something in one take, which may take some practice, transparently, or is it like a compilation video? I would bookmark a couple hours for editing, but that'll be spread over the amount of time that you're posting it, right? You don't need to batch edit all of that at one time. Yeah.
All right, we've got a question here.
Good morning.
Hi.
Great presentation. Thank you so
you.
much. When someone is starting out, I've posted on Instagram before. Is there a magic number of posts and a magic time to post to make sure that people, see it?
Yeah. Do you have an account already?
Yes, I do.
You do. Have you ever posted to that account?
I did. I was using Reminder Media. They
Okay.
were going through there and
Perfect.
yeah.
So what I would recommend is that you actually look at the data on the back end of your account. There's no magic time to post for everyone. It's actually dependent on your unique audience. So in the back end of your account, you go to your professional dashboard. It will tell you insights for your audience, and it will tell you the days of the week that your audience is most active, and then if you click into each day, it'll tell you what times they're most active. I usually recommend 5 posts per week. So we like to do like a Monday through Friday, but you could post at different times depending on when your audience is active.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Oh, we have another one? Perfect.
Do you find that people look more at stories or feed?
Good question.
Because I rarely post on my feed.
You rarely post on your feed, you post to your stories most often?
Every day.
And do you, as a consumer, when you log on to Instagram, are you only consuming stories?
Stories.
There you go. So that's the thing to know, is that whether you log on to Instagram and all you do is scroll your home feed, or what's your name? Dorothy, or you're Dorothy and you log on to Instagram and you just watch Instagram stories, you don't know what your audience is doing. So you have to meet them where they're at, which is why I recommend doing both. I know that's the hard answer, but I would do both. So the good news is that on your feed, you're only posting one time a day. On your stories, you're probably posting a couple of slides or like a lot, depending on what you're able to do. But having active stories will keep you in the beginning of the circles, which is really good. So if someone's excited to watch your stories, you always want to show up there. I would do both if you can. Yeah, but don't do the thing that only you do, because your audience is not you.
Also, your outfit is so super cute.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Hey, thanks. What do y'all charge for your services?
Oh, okay. It really depends. It really does.
Well,
So,
rough, yeah, ballpark.
yeah, so our marketing growth blueprint, this is actually our most accessible offer. We've discounted it down to less than $1,000, so if y'all wanted to grab that, it's the easiest. Our social media management starts at around $6,000 a month, and it's full hands-on. So you really don't need to be involved in it at all, or as much as you would like to be. You know that you have an outsourced marketing department who's really handling all of your social for you, and that's where those price points come in. Yeah, beautiful.
Any more questions? Yep, okay.
One more, great.
So you talked a little bit about the word of mouth, just testimonials and things like that. I think that we have a lot of great clients, but how do you, I guess, put out certain content or reach out to clients like that to be able to share that with other people to be more credible?
So you want their written testimonial to share on social, or you want them to tell their friends about you?
I guess it's like do you post like quotes of it, or do people do video testimonials? Like kind of, I guess, what's the best way to create that?
Great question. I think it's what your audience is willing to do. You know, some people have like an audience who is excited to be on video and want to share. We did a photo shoot or content shoot with one of our clients, and they had this one client who she was like, he's such a ham. He wants to be on camera. He wants to be all over our social media. We have to go to their house and get them. So we shot like an hour with their client. And he was like, I'm ready. Let's go. I want to share everything about this project. I love my new home. And then other clients are just, much more reserved and they aren't as comfortable on camera. So I would feel it out for each of your clients. One place that we like to go is Google reviews. So Google reviews are a great place to pull those written testimonials. You could also ask a client if they've sent you like a really happy email. You could be like, hey, would you mind if I shared this? You can keep it anonymous, whatever you're comfortable with. I would get that permission if it's not already baked into your contracts to share. Yeah. Awesome.
Anything else?
One more? Got one more. Over here. Oh, Michelle's got it.
Oh, sorry. So I'm curious about how you would help a client with the back end when I'm thinking about managing your pipeline or CRM or things like that. Like what tools do you recommend? How much do you even focus on that, or do you sort of just let social media manage all the information for you at this point?
Yeah, it's a great question. What I think is important to look at is, sales and marketing have an overlap. You're talking about sales, but they are different. And so when you look at your marketing and you're assessing who do you want to support you with your marketing and what KPIs you're looking to hit with your marketing, you're really marketing versus selling or looking at your sales metrics. So the biggest metric for your social is how many link clicks, how many people are we driving to the website? And then from there, are they filling out the form? Are they booking the sales call? Are they buying the product? If they're not, then there's a conversion problem, and that is outside of marketing. You want to make sure, of course, you're sending the right people there, but then once the right people land there, are we converting? Are we actually seeing the metric we're looking to achieve? And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't. We had one client, we drove thousands of clicks to his website, and the website was so outdated, it just didn't convert anybody. So we were like, okay, I think we should pause here, go work on the site, go work on your forms that you're gathering this data, because you don't need to invest with us if you can't convert on the site that we're sending traffic to. They work hand in hand. So to answer your question, we don't work on CRMs. We really focus on social, and I'd recommend that you have a marketing team versus a sales team so that your back-end CRM and the form that you're gathering that info in on your website or call link is optimized on its own, but your marketing team can really focus on driving traffic there. Yeah. All right.
All right. Last call for questions? Okay.
Yep.
Sure. I can.
Thanks so much for your presentation. So I have sort of a unique problem with my personal social media drives a lot of attention to, so I work with a lot of interior designers, but I'm an art advisor. And so me as Devin, I have really good, engagement on my Instagram, but my DMs are full of how can I be you? I'm in college. And then I have I have a separate Instagram for my business.
Yeah.
And so I want to focus more on the clients for my business to end up in my DMs versus that. So I'm really trying to figure out how to convert that into people not being invested in me, but also the services that I offer.
Yeah, so important. Right. So are you only posting to your personal profile?
I post to both, but I focus more on my personal. So
Right.
it's that drives a lot of attention. I do get followers to my business, but it's not the clients that are really getting driven to the business through my socials, if that makes sense.
Totally. I would go all in on the business account.
Instead.
If you're not attracting the right people on your personal account, I would do 80-20, 80% on the business, 20% on your personal. And if you are posting to the personal, do a collab post with the business so that you're still getting visibility with the business account.
Yeah.
Because if you're not getting the right people, then why are you putting your time into the business, into the personal profile? You just want business.
A lot of students I can't help that I want to, but it's hard to answer those every day.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you. That's really helpful.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I think that's it. All right, awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much to Emma Tessler.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all.